First of all, I want to send my congrats to Team Asobi for winning this year's GOTY Awards. It was such a delightful experience to see a light-hearted, pure fun game like Astro Bot winning Game of the Year. Astro was my first game I got to play in its first days of release. I remember seeing a trailer and many praising reviews from both gamers and critics and decided to give it a shot. When I received my copy, I almost immediately fell in love with this game. Cause even right after you get this game, you feel how much this small developers team care about players and gaming in general. The game case isn't just an empty box with a lonely disc inside. It's got a whole lot of things going on there. There's a nice background with Alien on the one side and the bots hiding behind the disc on the other side, and a double poster comic included in the box. You may say it doesn't have any impact on the game itself, but I say it does show how much effort Team Asobi and Sony put into this game. But let's pop the disc in and start our space journey. The game starts by our bot fellows wandering throughout the space on their PS5 mothership until they get stopped by the bully alien called Nebula, who steals CPU kid, an important part of our ship, and flies away. After this shameless steal, our mothership malfunctions, ship parts start to fall off, and bots fall into open space. We find our boy Astro Bot lost in a desert planet, seriously injured. Fortunately for us, there's our devoted dual speeder nearby who gives Astro a proper shake, fixing and waking him up. We see a satellite who crashes into the hill. We walk past our broken PS5 to the satellite, friend who we follow to the space and discover the first galaxy on our way. This satellite will help us to discover many other galaxies in the future. Gorilla Nebula is the first galaxy we enter. Each galaxy has different planets located in them. There are many fellow bots in each planet who wait for us to come and rescue them. Every level you visit has unique surroundings, enemies and bots. I mean, even the most common enemies change their look depending on the planet's theme. If you're not familiar with any of Astro Bot entries, these games are very well designed, though Astro Bot is the game which I believe refined the series to perfection. Every part of it looks super pretty. Many things designed to feel like made of metal, animals and enemies are robots too. Seems like every object has its own physics. Grass, bushes and flowers move when we walk past them. We can shake trees which eventually drop nuts or coins. Hovering over the wood, we can cut it with our laser. Not to mention the sound design, which makes us believe we're in the center of the action. Especially when Astro Bot walks on various surfaces and you hear those crispy sounds. It's truly an amazing feeling. Now why don't we take a trip through some planets we get to visit. First one of them is Sky Garden, which is memorable by its pink trees and flamingos wandering around. Here we get to know most of the game mechanics like punch, spin attack, jump, hover and swimming. We also rescue our first bots. Among them are our first special bots Ratchet and Rivet from Ratchet and Clank series. As you may already heard, Astro Bot is full of surprising character appearances from various games, now in their bot versions. By unzipping a squiddy guy, we get our first power-up. Octopus power-up gives us an ability to suck in air, turning into balloon, what makes us literally fly up some distance to the needed platform. Aztec Trail is a level inspired by ancient South America. Here we discover frog gloves for the first time. Using this, we can punch enemies easier as the punch distance gets bigger. We are able to hold on to these red jelly-looking pipes to swing between them, pull out special blocks, and break walls. Construction Derby introduces us to the Bulldog Pet power-up, which we use to fly forward. We're also able to pull out some cool tricks, like flying through some special courses and breaking walls. I love how developers went creative here, allowing us to play with paints. First we spill them to make a paint path, and then, entering a secret room, we get a full-blown controller which spits paint and helps us to see our way where Papa the Rapabot awaits us. Here in Gorilla Nebula, we get to fight our first big boss, Mighty Gorilla. Poor guy. I wouldn't want to be on his place. We also visit Apes on the Loose, our first game-themed level, which resembles iconic Ape Escape. There, our Astro gets Spike outfit and a net. We get to catch all those pesky monkeys and beat the mini-boss Spectre. I must mention every galaxy has hidden levels, which we discover by crashing into different meteorites, which randomly spawn on our galaxy map when we roam between levels. Although they are not that big, some of them will most definitely make you sweat. After we completed the last level in Gorilla Nebula, we retrieve Mothership's memory. Returning to crash site, we see how PlayStation 5 wakes up and the whole place becomes much more friendly. We repair Mothership's memory, controlling big robotic hands, which is unbelievably fun. I enjoyed retrieving every ship's part and repairing afterwards, because of how incredibly interesting the whole process is. Here in Crash Site, we can wander around, looking what our friend Bot's doing, and enter a few buildings we get after finding puzzles on levels, and putting them together on the Crash Site. Those buildings are Gacha Lab, where we can gamble and win some pretty nice prizes, like additional items or mini characters for our rescued bots, suits for Astro Bot, and dual speeder skins. Other buildings we can get are Dual Speeder Garage, Changing Room, Safari Park, and Gold Statue. Now let's get back to the story. When we repair our PS5, we see our friend's satellite crashing into the Aztec part of the planet. We reach the place with help of the bots, then we follow satellite to space and find Tentacle System. On the first planet called Go Archipelago, that looks like a pretty chill tropic island, we get monkey power-up. When this monkey on our back, we can climb walls, gripping to bananas, and smash enemies to the ground, or even grab and throw rocks. On this island we face the new boss, Captain Pincher. We beat this guy by climbing up on his shoulder and removing his head. Yep, now the mighty gorilla's faith doesn't seem too bad, comparing to Pincher's. In downsized surprise, we get the mouse shrinker power-up. We now can shrink ourselves to the size of a tiny mouse. Becoming the mouse, the whole perspective changes completely. We can go in tiny places where we would never visit being normal-sized bot, like going under the blanket and through the vents. In the end of this level, we need to blow air on our controller to make the pinwheel spin. After that, Frog starts to make bubbles, and we can shrink ourselves in a mouse and jump onto the bubble to fly to the tree. Here goes one of my favorite levels in the game, Trunk of Funk. First we go through the beautiful valley. When we pull out one of those colorful cables from the ground and press the button, we get ourselves a controller which we use to water a plant, who then turns into a singing papa tree. I don't know people who wouldn't admire this enormous guy with his catchy song. I forgot to mention, there are these head and hole boards on each level. You can stick your head in them and make a photograph with some funny characters who'll pose for you. Papa Tree inhales us into his mouth, where we find the elephant body, the power-up that sucks in his nose different liquids, which we then use to spawn different platforms depending on the liquid we've got. It can be bush, concrete, honey, or ice. This helps us to reach many unreachable locations and perform many cool tricks. Why I treat power-ups and many other things like living creatures, you may ask? It's because most of the usual things that surround us have eyes and live their own lives. We have Temetrio as our final boss on this level. Our elephant really showed them he is not the type of guy to play with. God of War is the last level in this galaxy, which is likely to be the favorite one for God of War fans. At the beginning, our Astro Bot becomes Kratos and gets his Leviathan axe. Using his weapon, we of course can eliminate our enemies, but we can also throw it at them, turning them into ice cubes. The axe even helps us to make our way through some obstacles like the Riva. We rescue many characters from this series. Although I didn't play these games, my favorite God of War bot gotta be Mimir. This bot looks exceptionally charming to me. Third galaxy we head to is called Serpent Starway. Slow-mo Casino is the first level we visit. This is a big casino planet. If you're a gambler, you can play slot machines in here. This level introduces us to the time-freezing VR headset. When we use this power-up, everything on the planet slows down, starting with enemies and ending with world props and enemy projectiles. This power-up will be crucial to proceed through this level and beat some enemies like this playing cards. Another level, Bathhouse Battle, gives Astro his sponge power-up. Now we can suck the water into our body to become bigger. Then we can spill this water out of the body to clean oil, water plants, extinguish fire, and do many other things. I think it's one of the most underrated power-ups that has a big variety of things you can do with it. Free Big Brother got to be one of my favorite levels, where you rescue our big robot buddy. We accomplish it by destroying multiple lugs that hold him tight. Trapped in Time is the level where we use Chicken power-up. This chicken friend allows to launch Astro Bot high in the air, much higher we could ever jump. She also helps us to fight special enemies who can only be beaten by pulling their chain tails out. The last level in Serpent Starway is Dude Raiding, what is an Uncharted tribute level. Here we dress up as Nate and get a toy pistol which we use to shoot enemies. Just like in Uncharted, we can fire at them when climbing ropes. As an Uncharted fan, it was super cool to see robo versions of my favorite characters like Sully, Elena and Chloe. I also love the remix of the original soundtrack playing on the background and surreal final boss battle. Next galaxy we visit is Camo Cosmos, the first level in this galaxy called Hieroglyph Pyramid that is obviously set in the ancient Egypt. Here we discover our new ball power-up, which gives us an ability to turn Astro in a small metal ball. It's so fantastic to roll around at high speed with this power-up. Many hard additional levels as square, triangle, circle and cross voids rely on this power-up.
Thank you, crack it up. You gave me life, you gave me love.
Playing on those void levels, the speedrun music will be stuck in your head, so I suggest to beat them with my brother's technique, turning down the game's volume and choosing something more calm, like Super Mario 64's file selection theme. By the way, my favorite additional levels are Retro Rumbles. It's so satisfying to crash pixels in this. We got a little bit too far from the main topic, so let's return to Camo Cosmos. We swim our way through Bubbling Under. In that level we meet many aquatic animals, like robotic fishes, squids and medusas, and structures like Crashed Boat. We also get here the Penguin power-up, which allows us to swim faster, epic dive into the water, and jump on special ramps. Level Spooky Time got a Halloween aesthetic, and it uses our time-stopping VR headset in variety of ways. For example, we stop spinning knives to walk on them. If you're interested in Astro Bot frightening maps, you may want to check out my Halloween episode, called Spooky Levels in Video Games. Find it on my channel or in the description of this video. This galaxy has Loco Roco level as its last planet. Loco Roco is a game which came out in 2006 for PSP. So in this level, after dancing with Loco Roco main character, we turn into this jelly blob character alike. We have to use motion controls to move around the map. We can also split into smaller blobs to go through some smaller areas. I genuinely love this level for its creativity and overall lovely atmosphere. Our next stop is Feather Cluster Galaxy with its first level Genie of the Lamp. This level got a lot of Asian Arabian vibes. Just look at this monkey who plays on his flute, charming the snake from the pot. This is mind-blowing to me, how this place drastically changes after we summon the genie from his lamp. Luna Sola is another good example how developers weren't afraid to experiment with level design. When we turn switches on this planet, the day changes to night and vice versa. Also, the whole map turns into different sides. Here we meet another iconic platformer hero, Sackboy, and rescue him. Falcon McFly, who's the boss in this galaxy, is an extremely funny birdo. Though, as always, Astro doesn't joke around with enemies, so Falcon doesn't go out of this without bruises and a huge bump on the head. As a tradition, the last planet in this galaxy resembles the other popular PlayStation title. Machine Learning is a direct reference to the Horizon series. In this level, we try ourselves on the place of the main character Aloy, grabbing her bow as a primarily weapon. When we aim with this bow, we get slow-mo effect, which helps to shoot targets easily. I feel sadness for some reason when I play this level. There's something in looking at all these bot holograms and music that brings tears on my face. Like, look at this lonely monkey sitting close to the hologram of the bot. But let's not concentrate attention to my vulnerable feelings and move on to the other galaxy. Lost Galaxy is the last one on our list. You are not obligated to play this one to beat the game. In Lost Galaxy appears every planet we discover by searching for secrets on the main levels. It's incredibly cool to have some more new planets to play through. The planet I want to mention is Left Encore. It's like a big celebration party which brings smiles on our faces. Here we get Teddy Bear with Symbols power up. The Symbols hit corresponds with many platforms on the map which will turn around, slide forward or slide up, making us able to land on them. This hand drum enemy will also respond to our symbols by falling on the ground, allowing us to jump on him. Last Encore is a perfect level to finish our trip through the space. But we are not finished just yet, because after completing all the mainline planets in 5 galaxies and returning to crash site, we must gather our bot bodies and hit the road to rescue CPU kit from Nebula's hands. We find the alien and follow this running coward. Our bot army gets use of good old spaceships, which are PlayStation consoles and their accessories from different generations. While we follow the villain, we fire at hordes of aliens in Space Invaders sort of way, with our devoted dual speeder. We also do some cool tricks and multiply our firing power by attaching PS1 in front of us. When we finally face Space Bully Nebulax, we get to fight him with many power-ups depending which one we get after Nebulax's roulette spin. It's truly an impressive feature which gives a huge variety to this battle. For example, getting Monkey power-up will help to dodge aliens' bullets and throw them back at him. Wearing our frog gloves will help to avoid waves made by aliens' hammer and then grab it and smash him with it. You can't really get annoyed replaying this boss battle. After retrieving CPU kit, it appears the battle's not finished yet, and Nebulax still tries to fight back throwing at us different objects. We of course win, but when Nebulax gets sucked in the created space hole, he grabs our Astro with him. Then we see a big explosion and our boy Astro falling on our mothership sometime after. Once again he got seriously beaten, even losing his consciousness. But with help of our big hands at bots, who get Astro spare parts and even a new heart, we get our hero fixed. Truly heart-shaking ending for such a fantastic game. Now it's time for our bots to celebrate the big win. We literally get to go through the credits with our Astro. We get here a new exclusive minigun power-up. After completing the game on 100%, we get a chance to play the Great Master Challenge, which only the best players can beat. After finishing it, we rescue Chop Chop Master Onion and get Throwback Outfit, which turns Astro into a retro game character. To sum up, I recommend to play this game to any gamer who hasn't played this masterpiece yet. It is so well made and it is genuinely fun to play. Even after completing the game, you can come back at any time trying to find all bots and win all items at Gacha Lab. Even going on crash site, dancing with bots is so much fun. After the game's release, we also got free updates adding 6 new levels. 5 of them are speedrun levels and 1 big Christmas level, which added new unique bots to rescue. Maybe the game's story ain't too deep, but how couldn't you adore this bot team who are unbelievably cute, adorable, and so happy to hang out together? Don't forget to visit Safari Park and make some photographs with animals. Just look how sweet Astro interacts with them. If you have PlayStation 5 and you want to have fun, I would strongly recommend to give this game a try. I am extremely happy we got a game like this. Great job, Team Asobi! As always, it was MilisendPersono. See you in the next video.